Good morning, welcome along to day 3 of the 2026 Aquatics GB Next Gen Championships from the Ponsfords International Sports Centre. We have 5 sets of heats to come during this session, so thank you for joining us and supporting your athletes. We are due to begin in just a couple of minutes here with our first set of heats, which will be women's 100 metres backstroke. As you can see, our officials are heading on to poolside, and here we have our list, our bill of fare for this session. Women's 100 metres backstroke, men's 200 metres butterfly, women's 100 metres breaststroke, men's 100 metres freestyle, and women's 200 metres individual medley. So those are our heats in this session. We've already seen some brilliant swimming so far this week. We will see even more today, that I can guarantee you. Women's 100 metres backstroke will consist of 13 heats. That's our first event of the session. And as I'm sure you're aware, this week of competition is all about helping the swimmers, helping everybody really learn what a week-long competition is all about. Trying to prepare so that the swimmers can deliver their very best performances when they want to do that at the biggest events. So we celebrate every PB. We celebrate everybody who qualifies for a final. We celebrate everybody who wins a medal. They're all fantastic achievements. The level of swimming you are going to see this week is of an incredible standard. The very best age group swimmers from all over Britain. Qualifying for this competition means you are of a high standard. One of the 30 best swimmers in your event in the country. So heat 1 of 13 for women's 100 metres backstroke. 4 swimmers, and you'll see they are in various para-swimming categories. Olivia Patterson and Amber Haycock in S10 category, Constance Ratley S9, Rebecca Hardy-Bishop S11. They will be given points for their performances. So that's what we'll be looking at the end of the heat, rather than their finishing times. So to give you an idea, lane 6, Rebecca Hardy-Bishop will probably finish 4th of these swimmers, but her points total could win the heat. It's all about the points in para-swimming, and there are a total of 8 para-swimmers competing in the women's 100 metres backstroke, competing for places in the final later. Here we go then, women's 100 metres backstroke, and this is heat 1. So it's Rebecca Hardy-Bishop of Crawley in lane 6, Constance Ratley for Mount Kelly in 5, Amber Haycock for Northampton in 4, and Olivia Patterson for University of Aberdeen Performance in 3, the closest swimmer to us. 3 separate para-swimming categories represented here by the 4 swimmers. So Rebecca Hardy-Bishop is in 4th place at the moment. First at the turn, Amber Haycock. Second there, Constance Ratley, and Olivia Patterson 3rd. Rebecca turning in 43.68 in 4th place. The 2 swimmers closest to us, Amber Haycock and Olivia Patterson, are S10 swimmers. So Amber Haycock will be expected to score more points here than Olivia Patterson for sure, because of the fact they're in the same classification. But we are looking for the points at the end of this swim. A PB here for Amber Haycock would be a time of around 1:14, so that's not bad. That's 1:15.91 for Amber. Constance Ratley 1:17.08, Olivia Patterson 1:21.06, and Rebecca Hardy-Bishop 1:29.35. And in terms of points, there is a slight rearrangement. There we go. Amber Haycock with 2 more points than Constance Ratley. 686 points for our heat winner. Second, 684. Third, 563. And Rebecca Hardy-Bishop actually is third with 568 points of those 4 swimmers. As you can see on the right there, Rebecca scoring 5 more points than Olivia Patterson. And that will all become relevant in the next heat, where we have 4 more swimmers in para-swimming categories. And they will be trying to score over 563 points, maybe even up over 700 points in their heat. So in heat 2, we have 10 swimmers. The 4 swimmers in the outside lanes. Tia Johnson, Megan Neve, Tara Beard and Callie-Ann Warrington are para-swimmers in this heat. And the other 6 swimmers in the middle lanes are 13-14 swimmers. This is heat 2. In heat 2, it's Tia Johnson for Newcastle Swim Team, Megan Neve for Repton, Emily Taylor for South Lanarkshire, Isla Davis for Nofio Siagar, Ella Derbyshire for Stockport Metro, Maya Orphanidis for Chelsea and Westminster, Martha Manson for Repton, Mia Hayes for Linslade Crusaders, Tara Beard for Maxwell, and Callie-Ann Warrington for Hackney Anaconda. Turning first in lane 3, Martha Manson in 32.29 seconds ahead of Maya Orphanidis, and then Isla Davis. We would like to get under 69 seconds here for 1 or 2 swimmers ideally, and in the middle of the pool there, Martha Manson and Maya Orphanidis may well just do that. Ella Derbyshire, Isla Davis, Emily Taylor going well too. And remember, for the 4 swimmers in the outside lanes, we're looking at points totals. In the middle then, finishing strongly, it could be lane 7, Emily Taylor, potentially. Emily second, Ella Derbyshire actually getting the touch there by 7/100ths of a second, 67.47. And we got 5 swimmers under 69 seconds there. Ella Derbyshire, 67.47. That's a personal best time. Emily Taylor in second place, also with a PB. And you'll see the points totals there. All of the points for the paraswimmers higher than the paraswimmers in the previous heat. And that will all become relevant when all of those 8 swimmers swim again in the final. They will all qualify for the final for mixed classification women's 100 metres backstroke, and they'll be back this evening for those finals. So they are 8 qualifiers for finals then. From the first heat, Olivia Patterson, Amber Haycock, Constance Ratley and Rebecca Hardy-Bishop. And from this heat, Tara Beard, Callie-Ann Warrington, Megan Neve and Tia Johnson. And in terms of 13-14 swimmers, Ella Derbyshire's time there of 67.47. We'll keep an eye on that to see whether it's fast enough for a place in the 13-14-year-old final. This is heat 3, and we have a mixture of 13-14 swimmers here and 15-year-olds. The swimmers in Heat 3, Emily England Hall for City of Leeds, Caitlin Davidson for Nova Centurion, Sophia Westhead for Bolton Metro, Matilda Sharp, City of Norwich, Elizabeth Vickerman for Newcastle of Staffordshire, Georgia Alcock for St George's Ascot, Isabel Allen for City of Cardiff, Camilla Holland for Wigan Best, Millie Slade for Exeter City, and Ada Yao for Borough of Waltham Forest Gators. 4 swimmers in this heat are from the 13-14 age group. The fastest time for a 13-14-year-old so far, 67.47. Leading then at that turn was Camilla Holland ahead of Ada Yao. Camilla and Ada are both 15-year-olds. Going well now in lane 6, Matilda Sharp, who's a 13-14 swimmer. In the white cap 4 lanes from the top of the picture. Into the last 5 metres then. But actually it's lane 1, Millie Slade finishing strongly, also a 13-14 swimmer. And 67.67 seconds. Puts her third at the moment in her age group. Millie Slade, 67.67. That's the first time she swam a sub 68 100 back. Camilla Holland, 68.02. And Georgia Alcock, 68.09. Millie Slade, 67.67. That's a good PB for her. And we will wait and see who qualifies for finals. We still have 10, 13, 14-year-old swimmers to come. So Millie Slade will have to wait and see. Heat 4, again a mixture of 13, 14s and 15s in this heat. In Heat 4, we have Lara Marquez for Chelsea and Westminster. Sophia Prosser for Torfin Dolphins Performance. Then we have the empty lane. Another Torfin Dolphins Performance swimmer, Rosie Roberts. Amy Sanders for Dunstable. Tia Sammets for Bedford Swim Squad. Sophia McMahon for University of Aberdeen Performance. Annabelle J for Grantham. Mia Garner for Borough of Harrow. And Yara Ghazal for Leyland Barracudas. At the halfway turn then. And it's Lara Marquez leading in 31.96. Conveniently here, the 4 swimmers on the far side of the pool are all in the 13-14 age group, and the 5 swimmers closest to us are in the 15 years age group, so that helps us visually here. 2 races pretty much split in the 2 halves of the pool, and the 15-year-olds now coming through into the last 5, and it's lane 1, Mia Garner. Looks like she might get there ahead of lane 5, Amy Sanders, and that is how they finished. 67.04 for Mia Garner. Amy Sanders, 67.15. Yara Ghazal, 67.37. So Mia Garner, 67.04. That's a personal best time. Amy Sanders, 67.15, will qualify with a PB there for the 13-14s final. Also in the 13-14s, Rosie Roberts. And she may well qualify there. Lara Marquez will have to wait and see, I think, with that time of 68.00. On to Heat 5. Swimmers in Heat 5, Maddie Markle for Guildford City, Poppy McGreedy for Guildford City, Sophia Stoyanova for Bromley, Amelie Mirza for Wickham District, Emily Grace Bentley for Basildon and Phoenix, Rosalie Anderson for City of Cardiff, Lucy Raper for Morpeth, Elizabeth Land for Morpeth, Isla Bennett for City of Cardiff, and in lane 0 there we have Ainsworth Fletcher for Winchester City Penguins. First to turn in lane 8, Poppy McCready in 31.29. So McCready leading. Second at the moment, Sophia Stoyanova. We have two 13-14 swimmers in here, lane 6 and lane 9. That's Amelie Mirza and Maddie Markle. And first to the wall in lane 7, Sophia Stoyanova in the 17s, 18s in 66.01. Ahead of Poppy McCready, 66.04. And Amelie Mirza, 66.25. So Sophia Stoyanova, the fastest in the heat, but Poppy McCready will qualify for the 15 years final with that time of 66.04. And Amelie Mirza will get into the 13-14 final there with 66.25 seconds. Maddie Markle, 68.14. That's going to be borderline for the 13-14 final. I don't think that will qualify, actually. This is P6. On to heat 6. The swimmers in heat 6, Megan Ormiston for Stockport Metro, Amelia Spence for City of Birmingham, Alana Henry for Killer Wales, Matilda Biggs, Winchester City Penguins, Amy Meyer for Biggleswade, Constance Logan, City of Brighton and Hove, Asha Mahanta for Worcester, Emily Hall for Warrington Warriors, Lois Smith for Basildon and Phoenix, and Lexi Sanderford for Putteridge. First to turn, lane 2, Emily Hall, 31.6 seconds. Emily is in the 16 years age group in that yellow cap. Good turn as well. 3 lanes from the top of the picture. Alana Henry going well too. As we come into the last 15 metres of this heat. And who is going to get the touch here? It's lane 1, Lexi Sanford, 66.33, 3/100 of a second quicker than Megan Ormiston. Lexi heat winner in the 15 years age group there. And Megan Ormiston in the 16 years. Another two 15-year-old swimmers there, Alana Henry and Amelia Spence. On we go to heat 7. We have a 13-14 swimmer here in lane 2, Elsie Hatton. The swimmers in heat 7, Astrid Fastius for Mid-Sussex Marlins, Darcy Jackson for Tadcaster York Sports, Ellie Hull for City of Birmingham, Eve Wood for Orkney, Ava Edwards for Plymouth Leander, Jessica Huggins for Swim Bournemouth, Heather Clubb, Aberdeen Dolphins, Elsie Hatton, Repton Swimming, Charlotte Jezard for City of Bristol, and Grace Nichols for Pembrokeshire. At the turn, our leader is lane 8, Darcy Jackson, 31.13. Just 100th of a second ahead at the turn of Astrid Facius. Both of those swimmers in the 17-18 age group. And then probably in third place at the moment, I would say that looks like Jessica Huggins in lane 4. This heat is going to be won by Darcy Jackson, and Darcy's got a PB of 66.10 seconds. She is going to smash that. That's a long forgotten time, 66.1, 63.91 for Darcy Jackson in the 17 and 18 category. That may well qualify in the 17 years final. Ellie Hull's going to qualify for the 15-year-olds there with 65.81. Ava Edwards will qualify too with 65.98. And Elsie Hatton, 68.04. There are a lot of swimmers bunched around the same time in that 13-14 category. And it's all going to come down to hundredths of a second to qualify for that 13-14 final. But Darcy Jackson, very impressive. Huge PB, brilliant swim. On we go to heat number 8. The swimmers in Heat 8 are Abigail McInerney for City of Glasgow, Lucy Douglas for Guildford City, Annabelle Compton for Wickham District, Clementine Lavelle for Mount Kelly, Grace MacDonald for Grantham, Grace Robinson for Norwich Swan, Megan Daniel for Carridon, Ruthie Galloway for City of Oxford, Jessica Kirkwood, University of Aberdeen Performance, and Erin Perman for Exeter City. Erin Perman in the bottom of the screen is going to turn first. 31.43 ahead of Megan Daniel. 0.14 of a second between those two. Less than a second separating the first 9 swimmers, though, at that turn. We have 3 swimmers in the 16-year age group here. Erin Perman, the leader. Megan Daniel in lane 3. And Lucy Douglas in lane 8. So we're keeping an eye then on the clock as we come into the wall. A PB here for Erin Perman would be under 65.82, and it is 65.08 for Erin, so a personal best, but beaten to the touch by Grace Robinson. 64.97 for Grace Robinson. That's a PB as well. PBs for both of those 2 swimmers. Erin Perman with 65.08. And that will be challenging for a place in the 16 years final. Not guaranteed at the moment. We still have 10 swimmers to come from that age group. So no guaranteed qualifiers there, but good PBs. Grace Robinson, Erin Perman. In Heat 9, we have a 13-14 swimmer in lane 2. That's Molly McGinley. We have a 15-year swimmer in lane 7, Autumn Claxton. 16-year swimmers in lanes 9, 6, 5 and 1. This is Heat 9. Our swimmers in Heat 9 are Rachel Ho for City of Birmingham, Daniela Bresner for City of Southampton, Autumn Claxton for Stockport Metro, Annabelle Neal for Middlesbrough, Erin Barber, Norwich Swan, Zara Kraviec for East Lothian, Lily Rose Carr for City of Lincoln Pentaqua, Molly McGinley for Repton Swimming, Sadie Roberts for Mount Kelly, and Erin Gent for Repton Swimming. It will be Sadie Roberts turning first here, and Sadie is in the 16-year age group. Sadie on course to qualify for the 16-year final with this swim. The first 16-year-old swimmer from this heat will probably qualify. So it looks like Sadie Roberts may well do that, but in the middle of the pool now, Erin Barber, who's also a 16-year swimmer, is coming through. And in lanes 3 and 4, Lily Rose Carr and Zara Kraviec also finishing strongly. Sadie Roberts will qualify for the 16 years final with that time, 64.59 seconds. That's a PB. First time under 65 seconds for Sadie. Second there was Zara Kraviec. Third, Lily Rose Carr. Kraviec, 64.88. That's a season's best time. Lily Rose Carr, 65.16. That's a new PB. And Erin Barber, 65.19. Molly McGinley there, 65.46, qualifies for the 13-14 final. That is confirmed. On to Heat 8. One 15-year-old swimmer here in lane 6. That's Macy Bruff. We also have 16-year-old swimmers Emma Cushion, Emily Collins and Scarlett Shepherd in lanes 1, 2 and 3. This is Heat 10. The swimmers in this heat, Nicole Maynard for Basildon and Phoenix, Holly Wayman for Repton Swimming, Emma Hagberg for Mount Kelly, Macy Bruff for Repton, Evelyn Hallisey for Newcastle Swim Team, Aoife Dwight Clark for Nofio Gwynedd Performance, Scarlett Shepherd for Reeds of Cobham, Emily Collins for Guildford City, Emma Cushion for City of Peterborough, and Gabrielle Freeman for Morpeth. Aoife Dwight Clark first at the turn, followed by Scarlett Shepherd and then Emily Collins. Second and third there, Scarlett Shepherd and Emily Collins, remember in the 16 years age group. Macy Bruff in lane 6. In 10th place at the moment, but looks like she will qualify for the 16 years final with this. Into the wall then, Scarlett Shepherd qualifies for the 16 years final with 64.66 seconds. That's a new lifetime best for Scarlett. Second place there, Aoife Dwight Clark, with also a new season's best. Holly Waymond was third there in 64.77. That's the first time she's swum under 65 seconds. Evelyn Hallisey, 64.78. That was faster than she swam at regionals earlier this year. Emma Cushion should qualify for the 16 years final with that 65.12. Well, actually, we'll have to wait and see. It's not quite confirmed. The last 3 heats are circle seeded, so we get some of our fastest swimmers now in the middle lanes. In lane 4, Honey Osrin. And we also have a 13-14 swimmer here in lane 8. That's Elise Butler. This is heat 11. The swimmers here are Kiana Kurtzer for Warren de Barles, Elise Butler for Maidstone, Libby Monday for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Eve Whitney for Tilehurst, Lydia Caudle for Repton, Honey Osrin for Loughborough University, Amy Jones for Leatherhead, Eileen Winstanley for City of Hereford, Charlotte Gower for City of Coventry, and Jessica Hill for Tiverton. Amy Jones looks like she'll turn first in lane 3. Actually, Honey Osrin got over a little bit quicker into the turn, and Jones was third to the wall, and now Osrin leading with Lydia Caudle. Lydia Caudle in lane 5 is a 16 years swimmer. 10th place at the moment, Elise Butler. Remember, she's a 13-14 swimmer, so even though she's 10th here, she's almost certainly going to qualify for her 13-14 final. As we look for the winners of the heat, it's going to be Lydia Caudle in 63.30. Second there, Honey Osrin, 63.5. Eve Whitney, 63.76. Amy Jones in 64.14. We would expect, well, Lydia Caudle will qualify for the 16-year final there. Amy Jones will as well. Eve Whitney will qualify, I would expect, for the 17-18 final. Charlotte Gower will have to wait and see for that. Honey Osrin will be in the 19s and over final. Libby Mundy will also have to wait and see. But Elise Butler there, 13-14 swimmer who finished 10th, will qualify for the 13-14 final with that time, 66.82 seconds. On to heat 12. 2 heats to come. In heat 12, we have Rhea Harron for Tadcaster York Sports, Lexi McElhey for Plymouth College Aquatics, Isabel Mather for City of Cambridge, Sophie Moore for City of Cambridge, Fenella Woodis for Repton Swimming, Neve Ward for University of Bath, Fionn Humphreys for Noffio Gwynedd Performance, Tegan Matthews for Guildford City, Laura Ann Marshman for University of Stirling, and Megan Titchener for Torfin Dolphins. First to turn, Neve Ward ahead of Fenella Woodis. They are in 2 separate age groups. Neve is in the 19s and overs, Fenella 17s and 18s. We have one 15-year-old swimmer in here, Lexi Mulcahy, I should say. Lexi Mulcahy, and she is currently around 8th, I would say, and probably on her way to the 15 years final with this swim. Neve Ward's going to win this heat. 62.19, which will qualify for the 19s and overs final. Fenella Wood is 62.59. That will get into the 17-18 final. Sophie Moore should qualify for the 19s and overs as well. Lexi Mulcahy finishing 7th there, 65.02. And that will get into the 15 years final. We have one heat left. And this will finalise all of our finals qualifiers. One more chance to make the final versus heat 13. We have a 16-year-old swimmer in this one, lane 2, Darcy Smith. Everybody else is in the 17s, 18s or 19s and overs. It's the final heat, heat 13. The swimmers in the final heat, Catherine Williams for Wickham District, Martina Karabach for Camden Swiss Cottage, Lily Grover for the Royal Score Wolverhampton, Isabel Price for City of Birmingham, Katie Schillinger for Repton, Blythe Kinsman for Mount Kelly, Candice Hall for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Darcy Smith for Portsmouth North Sea, Amber Rigg for Dumfries, and Jessica Hum for University of Bath. Way out in front then, Blythe Kinsman, followed by Kate Schillinger. Third at the turn, Isabel Price. Darcy Smith turning 7th there, but on course for a place in the 16 years final. Into the last 15 metres, Blythe Kinsman, a class apart really, as she comes into the wall. She's got a PB of 60.84 seconds, so that's not far off her best time. And second there was Kate Schillinger, 62.90 seconds. Catherine Williams third, 63.83. That's a PB in third place there for Catherine Williams. And Kate Schillinger into the 16 years final with 62.90. Should be the fastest qualifier there. Darcy Smith, 64.33, qualifies fourth fastest for the 16 years final. In the 17s there, Catherine Williams will qualify for 17s and 18s final. 63.83. Isabel Price qualifies as well. Amber Rigg will be in the 17s, 18s final with a time there of 64.13. And Martina Karabach, 65.06 for 17s and 18s, is not going to qualify. On we go to men's 200 metres butterfly. We have 12 heats to come. And these are the three swimmers in heat 1. The swimmers here are Glenn Geddes in the white cap on the far side for University of Aberdeen Performance, Sean Mooney in the middle of these three swimmers for Killer Whales, and Thomas Maydell for Basingstoke Bluefins in the red cap. 4 lengths of the pool, one of the toughest events, 200 metres butterfly. And first to turn here will be Sean Mooney in 30.01 seconds. These swimmers can go under 2 minutes 25 for this event. So out pretty fast, I would say, in 30.0. Glenn Geddes in lane 5, the furthest swimmer from us, has got the fastest PB of these three. It's Mooney, then Geddes, then Maydell. Maydell with the big push off the wall and the dolphin kick. So leading the way then, Mooney and Geddes. And coming into the final turn, it's Sean Mooney, followed by Geddes, and then Maydell. We're looking for a time certainly under 2:25 for all three swimmers, ideally, and I think we're on course for that. 25 metres left. And Glenn Geddes is coming through here and showing why he's got the fastest PB of the swimmers in this heat. It's Geddes then, but Sean Mooney is fighting back. He's not giving up this race. Geddes and Mooney is going to come right down to the touch. Who's going to spot the wall best? And it's Glenn Geddes. Well, I don't think it was Geddes. I think Mooney touched the wall first. His time didn't register there, and neither did Thomas Maydell. I have got the times down. Here they come. Look, Sean Mooney, 2:19.53, winning that by 7/100ths of a second from Geddes. Thomas Maydell, 2:25.03. For Sean Mooney, that's a personal best, 2:19.5. And that's a good time as well for Glenn Geddes. Probably, well, they are potential times for finals for those two swimmers, Sean Mooney and Glenn Geddes. We'll have to watch closely. Sean Mooney and Glenn Geddes have both got a chance of making the 13-14 final. We've got 9 swimmers in this next heat. In fact, it looks like we've only got 8 swimmers. So this is heat 2. And the swimmers here are in lane 7, Tyler Barber for City of Manchester Aquatics. Then it's Edward Gregory for Repton Swimming, Amrit Lally for Bexley, Tristan Pickard for Richmond Dales, Daniel Lawrence for Guildford City, Lewis Howard for Haventon Waterlooville, Jack Fielder for Poole, Spencer Smith for Cirencester. And as we've lost a 13-14 swimmer from this heat, well, we'll keep an eye on what that means for the qualifiers, potentially Sean Mooney and Glenn Geddes from the last heat. All of these swimmers, incidentally, they're all 13-14 swimmers. So, coming up to the halfway turn, and our leader is Edward Gregory for Repton. Maybe lane 1, Jack Fielder will beat him to the wall. No, it's Gregory, then Fielder. Only 100th of a second between them. Then Tristan Pickard, Amrit Lally, Tyler Barber, Spencer Smith, Daniel Lawrence, Lewis Howard. That's the order, with 75 metres left to swim. Edward Gregory having a good third length of the pool. He's got away from Jack Fielder over this last 45 metres. But Fielder goes a little bit quicker into the wall. And still not much to choose between Gregory and Fielder into the last 50 metres then. The first 4 swimmers here would expect to make it to the 13-14 final. And then we're looking at the clock for the other swimmers. So into the last 10 metres we go. And coming through very strongly at the end, Daniel Lawrence with a great finish, 2:18.81, which will qualify for the final. Jack Fielder qualifies as well, 2:19.05. Edward Gregory qualifies, 2:19.07. Amrit Lally will qualify as well, 2:19.69. Tristan Pickard will have to wait and see with 2:22.9. So the first 4 swimmers here all qualify for the 13-14 final. We may have other qualifiers as well, but it will depend on the times to come. Those results do mean that Sean Mooney and Glenn Geddes from the previous heat will qualify for the 13-14 final. Lifetime bests for our first 4 swimmers there. Daniel Lawrence, Jack Fielder, Edward Gregory and Amrit Lally. Well done to all 4. And we go on to heat 3. A full pool of 10 swimmers in Heat 3 then. We have Leo Lee for City of Leeds, Dennis Kuliev for Gloucester City, Lucas Goody Di Diego for Guildford City, Ethan Stout for City of Salford, Romeo Ball for Maidstone, Arlo Shaw for Bromley, Mihailo Vukovic for Ealing, Marek Pillay for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Ali Jamili for City of Leicester, and Angus Young for City of Leeds. So leading at the turn, Arlo Shaw. Mihailo Vukovic was second at the turn. The leader, Arlo Shaw, is in the 15-year age group. a good time from Arlo will push for a final place. The 13-14 swimmers here are Leo Lee in lane 9, Romeo Ball in 5, Mihailo Vukovic in 3, and Ali Jamili in 1. And they're all expected to make their final as long as they swim close to their best performances. So out in front then it's Arlo Shaw with Mihailo Vukovic, our best 13-14 swimmer so far. Third at the moment is lane 8, Denis Kulyev, who is a 15 years swimmer. Mihailo Vukovic is now in the lead then. That's a great third 50 for Mihailo. And a much better turn though from Arlo Shaw to get back in front. And Arlo Shaw looks like he is going to finish the stronger. Into the last 15 metres we go. And into the last 5, it's going to be Arlo Shaw, followed by Mihailo Vukovic. Third is going to be Denis Kulyev, followed by Leo Lee. Fifth is Romeo Ball, then Angus Young. Arlo Shaw, 2:15.28 seconds. We would expect Mihailo Vukovic definitely in the final for 13-14. So too Leo Lee and Romeo Ball there. Ali Jamili, I don't think will qualify for the 13-14 final with that. And for Arlo Shaw, 2:15.28. We'll have to wait and see for the 15s final. On we go to heat 4. In Heat 4, we have Jason Lee for City of Birmingham, Zachary Piscopo for City of Peterborough, Ben Stevenson for Wirral Metro, Joshua Kicks for Killer Whales, Julian Ockroy for Delting Dolphins, Kais Alijazi for City of Leicester, Mason Trainer for City of Leicester, Aaron Kane for Wickham District, Gus Fraser for Winsford, and Nathan Broadwater for Plymouth College Aquatics. Gus Fraser turning in 29.05. Then Ockroy. They are both 15 years swimmers. We've got two 13-14 swimmers here. Lane 3, Mason Trainer, and lane 9, Jason Lee. Leading then in lane 5 now is Julian Ockroy for Delting Dolphins, who's in the 15 years age group. I would expect the first two 15-year-olds in this heat to qualify for their final. The others might have to wait and see. So out in front, Ockroy, who has a personal best of 2 minutes 12. And you can see the way he's swimming that he's capable of a time like that. Maybe not in this heat, but we'll keep an eye on the clock. Joshua Kicks coming through strongly now as well. 2.1 seconds between our leaders at that turn. Aaron Kane up in third. Of our 13-14 swimmers, it's Mason Trainer who's leading the way, turning in 1:40.64. And Jason Lee, he may be 10th here, but he's going to qualify for the 13-14 final with this swim. Right at the top of your picture, Jason Lee's on his way to the final for the 13s-14s, I think. Winning this heat then, it's going to be Julian Ockroy, and he's going to qualify for the 15s final with this time. Ockroy, 2:11.97. It's a new PB. Brilliant swim. And that qualifies Julian for the 15 years final. Second place there, Aaron Kane. 2:14.14 will also qualify for the 15 years final. Joshua Kicks will qualify with 2:14.95. Zachary Piscopo 2:16.05 will also qualify. Ben Stevenson will qualify with 2:17.20. Gus Fraser, we'll have to wait and see. Ben Stevenson actually will hold back on that 2:17.2. Will hold back. That may be beaten. Yeah, that may still push him out. This is heat number 5. And in heat 5, we have Frankie Zeital for Barnet Copthall, William Oxley for City of Leicester, Frederick Brown for Guildford City, Jaden Phillips for Newham and University of East London, Alex Freeman for Morpeth, Andrew Noakes for Portsmouth Northsea, William Lancashire City of Leeds, Jacob Harness for Bassett Law, Joshua Greenuff for Maidenhead, and Jonah Hartley for Bristol and South Gloucestershire. Turning first, lane 6, Jaden Phillips, 28.33 seconds. And up in second, and maybe even first now, lane 1, Joshua Greenuff. So these two out in front, Phillips and Greenuff in lane 6 and 1. Frankie Zeital at the top of the picture, looking strong. And in the middle now, coming through lane 4, Andrew Noakes. Frankie Zeital at the top of the picture is a 13-14 swimmer. First at the turn then was Joshua Greenuff, then Andrew Noakes. Jacob Harness third at the turn, Jonah Hartley, and then Jaden Phillips. So, Andrew Noakes now pacing this race well. Just had a look to his right just to see what was going on in lane 1. And he'll have seen that he's just about level with Joshua Greenuff now. So it's Greenuff and Noakes, and turning third there, Jacob Harness coming through in lane 2 as well. Into the last 50 metres. Frankie Zeital, by the way, turning 10th there, but should qualify for the 13-14 final at the top of the screen. Coming up to the last 15, and Joshua Greenuff, 16-year-old swimmer, is going strongly. So too Andrew Noakes. William Lancashire finishing well, so too Jacob Harness. These four all going to the wall together. And it's Noakes who gets there, 2:12.90. Only 2/100th of a second slower than his PB. Joshua Greenuff, new personal best time, 2:12.93. And William Lancashire in third, 2:13.07. New personal best time for him. Frankie Zeital finished 9th, 2:16.82. And he qualifies for the 13-14 final with that. Andrew Noakes with 2:19.90 into 2:12.90 qualifies for the 15 years final. Alex Freeman, 2:15.45, will also qualify for the 15s final with that swim. On we go to Heat 6. Nine swimmers in this heat. Owen Carmody for City of Leeds. Theo Parker-Minty for Salisbury Stingrays. Zachary Callanan for Maidenhead. Ben Porlick for Wickham District. Jason van der Merwe in lane 5 there for Newham and University of East London. William Wilson for City of Leeds. Kyan Lee for City of Peterborough. George Henderson for Dulwich Dolphins. And Matthew Lowther for City of Southampton. George Henderson turning in 28.22 seconds. We have a 15-year-old swimmer in lane 7, 3 lanes from the top of the picture, Zachary Callanan. And Zachary's the third fastest qualifier in the 15-year age group. We have 3 16-year-old swimmers here, William Wilson, Ben Paulick and Owen Carmody. Halfway through then, and Jason van der Merwe is leading. Jason's a para swimmer, S14 category, and he holds the British record for the S14 category at 2:10.33 seconds. And if he's up with the leaders in this heat, in lane 5 there, Jason would be close to his personal best and close to that British record time. So we keep a close eye on that. Into the last 50, and the leader is Theo Parker-Minty, who's a 17-18s swimmer. Second at that turn was Ben Paulick, a 16-year swimmer. And Ben Paulick for Wycombe District going very strongly at the end here. So too in 3, Cian Lee for City of Peterborough. So it will be Theo Parker-Minty in the 17-18s who touches first. Ben Paulick gets in the 16-year final with 2:10.57. Cian Lee is third with 2:11.37. Fourth there was Matthew Loth at 2:12.21. Jason van der Merwe was fifth. Sixth, and that will qualify Owen for the 16 years final. Now I say that's not guaranteed that he's qualified for that final. So that's a wait and see time actually for our 16 years swimmer there. Zachary Callanan though does qualify for the 15 years final with 2:13.48. And look at that, Jason van der Merwe scoring 861 points in the S14 category with a time of 2:12.29. On to heat 7. In Heat 7, we have Harry Langford for the Royal Score Wolverhampton, Lachlan Murray for Wycombe District, George Harrison for Kingston upon Hull, Jamie Wilson for West Norfolk, Thomas Swales for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, James Gillies for City of Glasgow, Owen Wilson for Ramsbottom, Charlie King for Thanet, Jack Hurry for Northampton, and Lucas Ioanwa for Guildford City. First at the turn was James Gillies, 27.79. We have a 15-year swimmer, George Harrison, in lane 7. A 16-year swimmer in lane 8, Lachlan Murray. Everybody else is in the 17-18s. Coming up then to the halfway turn. And first to the wall is James Gillies in 61.09 seconds. Lane 0, Lucas Ioanwa up in second at the moment. Coming through now in 5, Thomas Swales in the red cap for City of Sheffield. And in 6, Jamie Wilson for West Norfolk. And we're going to have 8 swimmers very close at this turn. Who's going to the wall first? It's Thomas Swales in 5. That's a big 50 for Thomas. And he's out in front now. So it's Swales, then Owen Wilson. And Jamie Wilson in 6. Up with Swales, and Jamie Wilson now taking the lead. Jamie Wilson going ahead of Thomas Swales here. George Harrison looks like he's 9th or 10th, but will qualify for the 15th final, I think, here. And this is a good swim from Lachlan Murray as well. But first to the wall, Jamie Wilson, 2:09.92 ahead of Owen Wilson, 2:10.25 Thomas Wales third, 210.27. So George Harrison qualifies for the 15-year final, finishing in 8th place there. And Lachlan Murray into the 16-year final with 210.78.
Next is Heat 8.
On we go to Heat 8. In Heat 8, we have Edward Hodgson for Newcastle Swim Team, Archie Maguire for City of Sunderland, Martin Vermaat for Camden Swiss Cottage, Oscar Bellinger for Plymouth College Aquatics, Jack Bignell for Northampton, Benjamin Dale Wood for Thirsk White Horse, Nikolai Cisnet for City of Glasgow, Aidan Anderson, University of Aberdeen Performance, and Adam Michael for Tynemouth, and Harley Williams for Hastings Seagull. Harley Williams will turn first. 28.15 seconds. Second there was Oscar Bellinger, 28.49. And then Adam Michael in 28.63. 2 lanes from the top of the picture, Archie Maguire there. He's a 15-year swimmer. 3 lanes from the top of the picture, Martin Vermaat is a 16-year swimmer. And we have 2 more 16-year swimmers in lanes 3 and 2. Nikolai Cisnet and Aidan Anderson. Oscar Bellinger turning first at the halfway points and opening up an enormous lead. Oscar's PB is about 2:08. He hasn't swum that quickly this season, so maybe this is a return to that kind of level for Oscar. Let's hope so. Let's keep an eye on the clock there. Turning in 1:34.00, Oscar Bellinger ahead of Nikolai Cisnet. Nikolai's a 16-year swimmer, by the way. So it's Bellinger, then Cisnet, but Cisnet looks like he's finishing the stronger. Jack Bignell finishing strongly as well in lane 5 for Northampton. And also coming through strongly, Aidan Anderson in lane 2. And it's going to be Cisnet then who does finish the strongest. 2:09.01, a season's best time for Nikolai. Aidan Anderson, 2:09.81. Almost a PB, missing out on his personal best by 2/100ths of a second there, Aidan. So Nikolai Cisnet in the 16 years age group, that's the fastest 16-year time so far, 2:09.01. So that qualifies for the 16 years final. Aidan Anderson will also be in the 16 years final with 2:09.81. On to Heat 9. In Heat 9, we have Freddie Burdett, Freddie Burdett for City of Leicester, James Biddick for Exeter City, Luke Owens for Putteridge, Michael Banks for Bromley, Elliot Dunnett for Swim Bournemouth, Robert Shipley for Middlesbrough, Lewis Maxwell Powells for Warren de Baths, Alfie Owen for Wigan Best, Finn Proud for Newcastle Swim Team, and Dexter West for Pembrokeshire County. Elliot Dunnett turning in 28.08. There are 4 swimmers in this heat from the 16 years age group. Lane 9, Freddie Burdett. Lane 8, James Biddick. Lane 7, Luke Owens. And lane 4, Robert Shipley. Our leader, Elliot Dunnett, is a 17-18 swimmer. There will be 3 heats to come after this. Elliot Dunnett first to turn, followed by Michael Banks, then James Biddick. James Biddick 2 lanes from the top of the picture, a 16 years swimmer.
You 16-year-olds doing this one, fortunately. Luke Owens, James Biddick, and Freddie Biddick all in the 16 years age group.
So, coming up to the final turn, James Biddick 2 lanes from the top, still looking strong. But Elliot Dunnett, the leader, and Michael Banks in 6 coming into contention, turning second. Dexter West was third at that turn. Robert Shipley is now the leading 16-year-olds. He got ahead of James Biddick over that last 50. Robert Shipley in lane 4, and now Robert Shipley coming through, I think, to take the lead. It's Shipley in 4, Banks in 6. These two very close to one another as we get to the last 5 metres. Shipley in the black cap, Banks in the white cap. Who's going to time their touch to the wall better? It's Banks, 2:09.43 seconds. A season's best time for Michael Banks. Robert Shipley, 2:09.68. And that will qualify, well, for the 16-year final. You should think so. Freddie Burdett, 2:10.15, not guaranteed to be in the 16 years final with that. We have 3 heats left. They are circle seeded. This is heat 10. In Heat 10, we have Matthew Scott for Newcastle Swim Team, Jamie Beach for Newcastle Swim Team, Harrison Galloway for City of Bristol, Edward Markle Whittles for Chelsea and Westminster, Maxwell Adams for Wickham District, Albert Branch for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Matthias Christoph for Mount Kelly, Daniel Codaverde for Stockport Metro, Jack Kears for Guildford City, and Jacob Bacon for City of Peterborough. Markle Whittles turning first, 27.60. Jacob Bacon turning there in 5th place is the single 16 year swimmer in this heat. Lane 6, Edward Markle Whittles out in front. Maxwell Adams in 5 in 2nd place. Harrison Galloway in 7, looks like he may well be 3rd at the moment. And just behind them, Daniel Codaverde in lane 2. Codaverde actually got to the wall ahead of Galloway. So, Adams is the leader in lane 5. Edward Markle Whittles staying with him at this stage. Christoph Matthias looks like he's swimming well now in lane 3. As we come to the wall, and Matthias Christoph is up to 3rd. So it's Adams, Markle Whittles, and then Christoph. So in the middle of the pool then, it's lane 5, Maxwell Adams, who will qualify for the 19s and overs final with this time. 2:01.91. That's a good time for Max. 0.4 seconds slower than his PB, only 0.4 seconds slower. Matthias Christoph came in 2nd there in 2:04.22. Jacob Bacon's the time to look out for in 8th place there, the only 16-year swimmer, of course, 2:08.63. And that will qualify for the 16 years final. Matthias Christoph 2:04.22. That should get into the 17-18 final, but we will confirm as things go on. There are 2 heats left. This is heat 11. In Heat 11 then, the swimmers are Eden Rowe for Northampton Swimming, Oscar De Waal for Biddulph, Harry Chandler for Worcester, Scott Fleming for University of Stirling, Ruben Rowbottom Keating for Loughborough University, Thomas Sansom for Wickham District, Benjamin Beale, City of Sunderland, Thomas Woofenden for City of Leeds, Achilles Bello-Omenyo for Guildford City, and Zada Tovey for Millfield. Harry Chandler turning first, 26.75, ahead of Ruben Rowbottom Keating and Thomas Sansom, who had exactly the same time there at 50 metres. And coming through now, Rowbottom Keating. And in lane 4, Thomas Sansom. First to the turn was Rowbottom Keating. 57.87 was the time at the turn. Thomas Sansom was second there. Harry Chandler was third. Scott Fleming was fourth. Into the final turn we go. Sansom and Rowbottom Keating in the central lanes. Scott Fleming. They are all 19s and over, but Benjamin Beale is the 16-year swimmer in lane 3, and he's right up there. Of these four, he's the swimmer closest to us. Benjamin Beale, 16-year swimmer. Zada Tovey is also a 16-year swimmer, right at the bottom of your picture. As we come into the last 5 metres, and the heat is going to be won by Thomas Sansom. 201.73. That's close to his personal best. Benjamin Beale finishing second, 203.61. And that makes him the fastest qualifier. He'll be in lane 4 in the 16 years final. Look out for Zada Tovey, who finished 8th there. Zada Tovey, 208.6. He'll be the second fastest qualifier for the 16 years final. So those two 16 year swimmers, Benjamin Beale, Zada Tovey, they will be in lanes 4 and 5 in the final. Thomas Sansom will be in the 19s and overs final. Achilles Bello-Omenyo should qualify, and Thomas Woofenden too in the 17s and 18s. Final heat then, heat 12. In Heat 12, the final heat, James Kilpatrick for Carnegie, Colton Dorfeld for Millfield, Roman Parham for University of Stirling, Aidan Orpin for Sutton and Cheam, Samuel Cook for the University of Birmingham, Antonio Rodriguez for Swansea University, Llewellyn Porter for Camden Swiss Cottage, Rico Bringeman for Loughborough University, Thomas Marshall for Exeter City, and Edward Henwood for Wandsworth. And Antonio Rodriguez leading at the turn in 27.09, ahead of Llewellyn Porter. 2 age groups represented in this heat. We have 17-18 swimmers in lanes 9, 8, 6, 3, 1 and 0. 9, 8, 6, 3, 1 and 0. So the leading 17-18 swimmer there is Llewellyn Porter. And the second fastest 17-18s there is Aidan Orpin. And we are watching Antonio Rodriguez leading the way. Turning first then, Rodriguez in a time of 1:29.73 at that turn. Nobody's going to catch him. Second then, Samuel Cook. Llewellyn Porter in third place in lane 3. He may even be second now. Is on his way to the 17s, 18s final. So into the wall. Antonio Rodriguez qualifies for the 19s and overs final. So too does Samuel Cook. Llewellyn Porter, 2:04.27. He'll be in lane 5 in the final for 17s, 18s. Just a little bit slower. Only 5/100 slower than Matthias Christoph in the previous heat. So Rico Bringeman, Roman Parham, both qualify for the 19s and overs final. And for the 17s, 18s there, we have qualification for Llewellyn Porter into the 17s, 18s final. Thomas Marshall, he'll be third fastest in that final. Aidan Orpin, he qualifies. Colton Dorfeld qualifies. Edward Henwood misses out. And so too does James Kilpatrick. Our next event is women's 100 metres breaststroke. We have 12 heats. This is heat 1. And the swimmers in heat 1 are Grace Harvey, Ella Williams. Grace Harvey for University of Aberdeen Performance, Ella Williams for Swindon, Lucy Shaw for Crewe Flyers, Martha Rickard for Bromley, Sienna Oxby for Repton, and Imogen Dodds for Northampton. We have 5 swimmers here in para-swimming categories. And Martha Rickard, who's leading, is a 13s, 14s swimmer. Grace Harvey in lane 7 is going to turn in 7th place, or 6th place rather, but she is most likely to score the highest number of points, an SB5 swimmer. So bear that in mind when we look at the points at the end of this heat. We're looking at Martha Rickard leading and Lucy Shaw in second. Into the last 15 metres we go. And for these swimmers, something around under 120 is really good. Martha Rickard, 1:16.41, a new personal best time for Martha. Lucy Shaw, 1:17.17, that's a season's best time for Lucy. Sienna Oxby, 1:23.38, finishing third. Imogen Dodds, 1:27.77, that's a new PB for Imogen. Ella Williams, 1:30.72. And here comes Grace Harvey, who will possibly score more points than anyone else there, 1:44.42. So we convert those times into points for the para swimmers. And you'll see Lucy Shaw scores 832. Sienna Oxby, 660. But look at that, Grace Harvey, 896 points. And for an SB5 swimmer, over 800 points is world class. So 896, that is really excellent for Grace Harvey. Great swimming there. Heat 2. 10 swimmers in this heat. And in this heat, there was not a good start there for Eleanor Wooden in lane 7. The swimmers are Yasmin Amiri for Whitney and District, Mia Wilson for Basildon and Phoenix, Eleanor Wooden for Winchester City Penguins, Emily Sumner for City of Bristol, Anna Jackson for Perth City, Charlie Hoare for Warrender Baths, Olivia Faustman for Leicester Sharks, Caitlin Davidson for Nova Centurion, Kira Van Zyl for City of Cardiff, and Myla Aris for Chelsea and Westminster. And it's Myla Aris leading 35.75 at that turn, just ahead of Charlie Hoare. We have swimmers in two age groups here. Most of these swimmers are 13s and 14s. We also have three 15-year-olds in lanes 6, 5 and 3. Emily Sumner, Anna Jackson and Olivia Faustman. Leading in lane 4 is Charlie Hoare, or maybe actually Yasmin Amiri in lane 9. Into the wall we go, and it's Charlie Hoare, 115.43. She's a 13 years swimmer, Charlie Hoare. Yasmin Amiri also in the 13-14 age group. So Charlie Hoare with that time, not guaranteed, but I would expect will qualify for the 13-14 final. So too Yasmin Amiri, not guaranteed. There are more swimmers to come in those age groups. We will have to wait and see for those swimmers. On to heat 3. In this heat, we have Isabel Patterson for City of Bristol, Isla Thied for Camden Swiss Cottage, Ada Yo for Borough of Waltham Forest Gators, Betsy Ryder for Skipton, Ava Highfield for Market Drayton, Minnie Wilkinson for Wickham District, Matilda Wilson for Morpeth, Elijah Mikaita for City of Peterborough, Clara Sunsbow for Hackney Anaconda, and Daisy May Dole for Basildon and Phoenix. Betsy Ryder looks like she will turn first. Betsy's in the 15-year age group. Second at the turn, Matilda Wilson is a 13-14 swimmer. And third at that turn, another 15-year-old Isabel Patterson. Now looking good in lane 3, Matilda Wilson. And in 6, Betsy Ryder. Ryder and Wilson then. And also look at lane 0, Daisy May Dole finishing strongly. And on the far side as well, Isabel Patterson and Isla Thied both going well too. Into the last 5 metres. And it looks like it's going to be Betsy Ryder just ahead of Matilda Wilson. 116.72, 116.78 and 116.83 for Daisy May Dole. So between the first 3, just 0.11 of a second. And Matilda Wilson with that time of 116.78. Not guaranteed a place in the 13-14 final. Not guaranteed. On to heat 4 we go. In heat 4, we have Seren Talentire for Morpeth, Chloe Morris for Millfield, Amber Partridge for Boldmere Swimming and Water Polo, Phoebe Morgan for Derby Excel, Ellis Davis for Millfield in lane 4 in the 15-year age group. And we have Isabel Parsons Loads. Lane 3 is Victoria Alcorn for Rochford and District. Lane 2, Molly Robinson for West Dorset. Lane 1, Nina Allen for Newmarket and District. And lane 0 is Maisie Brown for Rushmore Royals. First to turn there was Seren Talentire on the far side in lane 9, but 3 from the bottom, 3 into the bottom. Molly Robinson was second, and Molly is a 13 years swimmer. Born in 2013, Molly Robinson. And we would expect her to qualify for her final. She's out in front now, Molly. This is very good. The fastest time we've seen so far in 13-14 age group is going to be set here by Molly Robinson, 1:13.35. That is a PB by almost 3 seconds. Wow, what a swim. Well done, Molly Robinson there. Absolutely brilliant. Certainly in the 13-14 final with that. Seren Talentire finishing second, 1:14.21. Chloe Morris, 1:15.54, finishing in third place there. We have to wait and see for those finals. We're on to Heat 5. In Heat 5, we have Alice Wallinger for Wellingborough, Elizabeth Adam for Leyland Barracudas, Amelie Bruntlitz for Nuneaton and Bedworth, Eleanor Armstrong for Trafford Metro Borough, Isabel Owen for Sandwell Aquatics, Emma Tooley for City of Milton Keynes, Lottie de Klerk for Tiverton, Ellie Louise Kennedy for City of Glasgow, Talia Curtis for Wantage White Horses, and Autumn Humpich for City of Birmingham. And it looks like Isabel Owen may well turn first here in lane 5. We have a 13-14 swimmer turning fourth there. Autumn Humpage turning in 35.82. We also have a 15-year swimmer, Amelie Bruntlitz, in lane 7. So, into the last 25 metres, it's Isabel Owen out in front. And second may well be Elizabeth Adam. It's hard to tell at the moment in lane 8, or possibly Talia Curtis in lane 1. In fact, it's going to be Autumn Humpage in lane 0, who's going to qualify for the 13-14 final with this time Isabel Owen 1:14.54. Second there, Autumn Humpage 1:15.24. So that's a new PB for Autumn and a place in the 13-14 final. And in terms of 15-year-olds, Amelie Bruntlett 1:17.36. I don't think that will be good enough. It might be yet for a place in the final. On to Heat 6. In Heat 6, we have Veronique Crozet for Bromley, Abigail Parry for Noffio-Sirgar, Rebecca Tompkins for Millfield, Olivia Zobeck for Camden Swiss Cottage, Neve Savoury for Newcastle Swim Team, Alice Collins for Leatherhead, Erin Newman for Mount Kelly, Ashiria Budatucky for City of Coventry, Emily Lyons for Winsford, and Martha Cunniff for Rushmore Royals. Our leader, Erin Newman, going into the wall, and she's in the 13-14 age group. Second at the turn, Olivia Zobeck. Third was Alice Collins. Fourth at that turn, Martha Cunniff. There are two 13-14 swimmers here, Erin Newman and Abigail Parry. So Erin the leader. Abigail is 2 lanes from the top of the picture. Also one 15-year-old swimmer, 3 lanes from the bottom of the screen, Ashiria Budatucky. It's going to be Erin Newman. The fastest time we've had yet in her age group is 1:13.35. So Erin Newman goes quicker than that. A new lifetime best time, a 2-second PB for Erin Newman. Martha Cunniff was second there. Abigail Parry will qualify for the 13-14 final as well, finishing third there, 1:14.92. And Ashiria Budatucky, 1:15.83 in the 15 years age group. And that should qualify for the 15 years final. On to Heat 7. The swimmers in Heat 7, Jasmine Bax, who's in the 13-14 age group for Mount Kelly at the top of the screen. Sophie Ray for City of Coventry. Annabelle Cook for City of Sheffield Swim Squad. Olivia Robbins for City of Birmingham. Bonnie Mooney for City of Coventry. Isla Stewart for City of Peterborough. Evie Kick, a 15-year swimmer in lane 3 for City of Sheffield. Charlize Harding for Norwich Swan. Nina Kolsch for Camden Swiss Cottage. And Sophie Dixon for Leyland Barracudas in lane 0. Sophie Dixon right up there at the turn, just beaten to the touch by Nina Kolsch. Jasmine Bax at the top of the screen, turned 8th there. Remember, she's a 13-14 swimmer. And Evie Kick was 9th at that turn. And remember, she's a 15 years swimmer. So those two could make it into their finals with these performances. Leading the heat then in lanes 6 and 7, Olivia Robbins and Annabelle Cook. Olivia Robbins is a 16-year swimmer. It looks like Annabelle Cook's going to come through and win the heat though. And Annabelle's got a personal best of just under 1:14, but there you go, 1:14.00 for Annabelle to win the heat. Olivia Robbins second, 1:14.16. And we'll be looking here for Jasmine Bax, who finished 4th, 1:15.31. And she qualifies for the 13-14 final with that. Evie Kick finishing 7th, 1:16.09. And that should qualify Evie for the 15 years final. On to Heat 8. In Heat 8, we have Isabel Brock for Clevedon, Eva Ondrejkov for Camden Swiss Cottage, Jessica Hill for Tiverton, Rebecca Jones for City of Coventry, Sophie King for Mount Kelly, Eve Hibbert for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Sophie Kilby for Mount Kelly, Macy Bruff for Repton, Esme Hall for Borough of Stockton Swim Scheme, and Hannah Pye for Guildford City. Lane 4 is Eve Hibbert. Looks like she'll turn first. Maybe lane 0, Hannah Pye. In fact, Hannah Pye is at the wall first. Then Eva Andrejkov and Isabel Brock. We have a 15-year swimmer here, Macy Bruff. 2 lanes from the bottom, or rather 3 lanes from the bottom of your screen in lane 2. Macy Bruff, a 15 years swimmer. And Eve Hibbert in lane 4, our leader. She's a 16-year swimmer. She's going to qualify for the 16 years final with this swim. I'm sure of that. And look at Eva Andrejkov at the top of the picture going well in lane 8. So it's Eve Hibbert to win the heat. 1:12.82, a huge PB there by 1.5 seconds for Eve. Eva Andrejkov, 1:13.58. That's a personal best as well. Hannah Pye finishing 3rd. A new PB for Hannah too. We look at Macy Bruff's time there. Macy in the 15 years age group, 1:15.45. That will qualify for her 15 years final. On to Heat 9. In Heat 9, we have Neve Dunbar for City of Leicester, Sophie Wood for Taunton Deane, Georgia Atkinson for City of Cambridge, Lily Mundell for Heart of Midlothian, Ines Grimond-Beetham for Camden Swiss Cottage, Millie Harris for West Norfolk, Tilly Hubbard for Taunton Deane, Grace O'Hara for City of Leeds, Scarlett Davey for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, and Amelia Williams for Guildford City. Grace O'Hara in lane 2 is a 13-14 swimmer. First to turn was Scarlett Davey. Tilly Hubbard was second at that turn, then Millie Harris, then Ines Grimond-Beetham. Fast times for swimmers in this heat would be under 1:14. So it's Scarlett Davey leading into the last 5. And then Lily Mundell and Imis Greenman-Beetham. Scarlett 112.86 seconds. That's the fastest time so far in 17s, 18s age group. Grace O'Hara was second there, 114.02. And Grace is going to be the third fastest qualifier for the 13-14s final with that time. Tilly Hubbard 114.35. And that qualifies for the 15 years final for Tilly. Lily Mundell 114.19 in the 16 years age group. We'll have to wait and see if that qualifies for that final. On to heat 10. Last 3 heats circle seeded here. The swimmers in Heat 10, Amelie Spicer for Bristol and South Gloucestershire, Megan Mills for Tadcaster York Sport, Mari Gibson for City of Cardiff, Josephine Lawn for Bromley, Emily McGee for Dundee City Aquatics, Charlotte Bianchi for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Emma Allett-File for Guildford City, Hannah Capron for City of Brighton and Hove, Georgina Hamilton for City of St Albans, and Millie Searle for Gary. Hannah Capron is going to turn first in lane 2, 33.00 at the turn. And I would say she's on course for a personal best time with that turn. But coming through now in lanes 4 and 5, Charlotte Bianchi and Emily McGee. Millie Searle at the bottom of your picture is in the 15-year age group. Josephine Lawn in lane 6 is in the 16 years age group. Strong finish now. Charlotte Bianchi coming through with Emily McGee. And it's going to be Bianchi then in the middle of the pool. And Bianchi's time, 110.49 ahead of Emily McGee. Third, Emma Allett-File, 112.08. Looking at Millie Searle there, 114.18, finishing 10th in the heat. But in the 15 years age group, 114.18 qualifies for the 15 years final. Josephine Lawn 112.85. And that will qualify for the 16 years final. On to heat 11. In Heat 11, we have Lily Stansfield for Harrogate District, Olivia Quiller for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Annalise Elford for Whitney and District, Ashley Ransom for Hatfield, Eloise Lloyd for Wickham District, Sienna Robinson for Loughborough University, Anna Finley for Derwentshire and Gateshead. We have Lily Green for Mount Kelly, Iola Bellinger for Winchester City Penguins, and Erin Kaplan O'Brien for Hackney Anaconda. First to turn then, Sienna Robinson in 32.72 seconds. And second at that turn was Eloise Lloyd in 33.57. Eloise is in the 16 years age group. We have a 15-year swimmer in lane 8 here, Olivia Quiller. As we get into the last 15 metres then. And the leader, Sienna Robinson, she's in the 19 years and overs. And it's going to be Sienna then in a finishing time of 68.94 seconds. Second is Eloise Lloyd. Eloise will qualify for the 16 years final with that time, 112.10. Third, Annalise Elford, 112.51. That should get into the 17s, 18s final. Then Anna Finley. And we're looking at Olivia Quiller there, 15 years, finishing in 9th place, but 113.99 should be good enough to get into the final for 15-year-olds. final heat is heat 12. In the final heat, we have Anastasia Musat for Mount Kelly, Isabella Cleary for Mount Kelly, Honor McCarty for City of Glasgow Swim Team, Caitlin Hartley for Hatfield, Jasmine Carter for Mount Kelly, Imogen Miles for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Sophie Brassington for Swansea University, Claire Hulu for Swansea University, Gwenllian Evans for City of Cardiff, and Eva Newman for Mount Kelly. So Jasmine Carter leading the way at halfway. And swimming away from the rest here, Sophie Brassington going well, but Claire Hulu possibly second at the moment. Imogen Miles now coming through. And lane 9, Anastasia Musat also swimming well. Into the last 5, Jasmine Carter winning comfortably then. 69.27, followed by Imogen Miles in 1:15.52. And Claire Hulu finishing in third place there. So Jasmine Carter, Imogen Miles, they'll be in lanes 4 and 5 in the 17s and 18s final. Claire Hulu, Sophie Brassington, they'll qualify for their finals. And Eva Newman should qualify. Honor McCarty should qualify. Isabella Cleary should qualify for their respective finals. Great swimming there in the women's 100 metres breaststroke, very high standards. And we go on to our next event, men's 100 metres freestyle. I should point out we're going to have a swim-off at the end of this session. There will be 3 swim-offs, in fact. And actually, we're going to have the swim-offs now. So there you can see there are 3 separate swim-offs. Tegan Matthews and Grace Robinson are swimming for a place in the 17-18 years reserve positions. Rachel Ho and Megan Daniel for reserve place in the 16 years final. And closest to us in lanes 1 and 2, Sophia Prosser and Elsie Hatton are swimming for second reserve place in the 14 years final. So swimmers who win their particular race are not necessarily going to swim in the final later. This is probably a good chance to swim a second time for these swimmers. So we should regard this as 3 separate head-to-heads. So Megan Daniels leading the race in the middle of the pool, Tegan Matthews leading the race on the far side, and Elsie Hatton leading the race on the near side. So these 3 pairs of swimmers had exactly the same times as their partner, the person they're racing against, in their heats earlier. At the top of the pool, we want both of those swimmers to go under 68.04, and in the middle underneath 65.49 ideally. Look at that. Brilliant swims all around. Huge improvements. So Megan Daniel in the middle of the pool becomes first reserve for the 16 years final in a time of 64.78. That would have been good enough to get into her final. Then in the race between 16 years swimmers, Megan Daniel 64.78. Elsie Hatton was the faster of the two 13-14 swimmers in 66.92. They were really good second swims all around there. All 6 swimmers good second swims. Well done to everyone there. Now we go on to men's 100 metres freestyle. We have 13 heats. All of the swimmers in Heat 1 are in para classifications. 5 different classifications here. So it will be the points that determine the best performances in this race. It's Heat 1, men's 100 metres freestyle. The swimmers in this heat are Max Davis for Worksop Dolphins, Kai Bradford for Killer Whales, Owen Johnson for Repton, William Reed, City of Swansea Aquatics, Nathan McManus for Plymouth College Aquatics, William Newton, City of Coventry, Alfie Penfold for Crawley, and Bjorn Sebastian Ayen for University of Stirling. And you can see lane 2 there, Alfie Penfold, visually impaired athlete, so he gets a tap on his back to tell him when he's close to the end of the pool. And it also means we will have a slight pause at the end of the race. So Max Davis on the far side is an S8 swimmer. Kai Bradford is S9, so too Bjorn Sebastian Ayen on the near side. Owen Johnson's S10, Alfie Penfold S13, and the 3 other swimmers are S14s. William Newton touching first, 59.46 seconds, and he scores 615 points. Second there was William Reed, then Owen Johnson, but look, 645 points for Kai Bradford, so he's actually the highest scorer in that heat. Max Davis is the highest score, 716 points. Sorry, so Max Davis, S8 swimmer, 63.87 seconds, scores the highest in that heat. 2 swimmers with 597 points, and that really illustrates the point scoring system because, look, their times were different, but they score the same in different categories. And we have 2 more para swimmers in the next heat in the outside lanes. Thomas Navarro-Barber, S9 category at the top of the screen, and Rowan Brennan at the bottom of the screen, S10. The other swimmers in this race are 13-14 swimmers. It's Heat 2. In this heat, we have Thomas Navarro-Barber for Portsmouth North Sea, Daniel Lawrence for Guildford City, Rory McDonald for Guildford City, Zachary Pine for Inverclyde, Jack Wade, City of Leeds, Oliver Tang, Stockport Metro, Stephen Yankoff for Repton Swimming, Jacob Thistlewood for Mount Kelly, Hugo Fiello for Atlantis, and Rowan Brennan for Basildon and Phoenix. Rory McDonald turning first, and Rory is in the 13-14 age group. I would say the fastest 13-14 swimmer here, maybe the fastest 2, could qualify for their final. And the way Rory McDonald is swimming, I'd be absolutely certain he's going to be in the 13-14 final. Rory's personal best is 57.43. He's going to obliterate that. 55.90. Hugo Fiello in second, also with a big PB. 56.95. There are still 10 swimmers to come in the 13-14 age group. But I would expect Rory and Hugo will qualify. And Rory's actually been disqualified. So Rory, that's not a PB. That won't count. But Hugo Fiello should qualify for the 13-14 final with that time. Thomas Navarro-Barber and Rowan Brennan, with those points, will qualify for the mixed classification final. On to Heat 3. In Heat 3, we have Isaac Buchan for City of Norwich. And Isaac is para swimmer, S14 category. Henry Liddell for Aquajets Newcastle. Kasper Novosielski for Ealing. Daniel Circuit for Basingstoke Bluefins. Rhys Ferguson for Wren 96. Lane 4 is Quinn Austin Kelly, S14 para swimmer for Skipton. Lane 3, Ethan Dwyer for City of Liverpool. Lane 2, Jason Lee, City of Birmingham. Lane 1, Jacob Pearson, Bristol Henleys. And Lane 0 is Amrit Lally for Bexley. First to turn then was Kasper Novosielski. And Kasper will be qualifying for the 13-14 final with this swim. There's no doubt about that. So Kasper qualifies for the final. Ethan Dwyer will qualify as well. 56.00 for Kasper, 56.17 for Ethan. Amrit Lally will qualify with 56.54. Other 13-14 swimmers will have to wait and see. And the two S14 para swimmers there, Quinn Austin Kelly and Isaac Buchan, will qualify for the S14 final, which we'll have in the final session this evening. Quinn Austin Kelly, Isaac Buchan qualifying for their final. Kasper Novosielski, Ethan Dwyer will both qualify, and I think Amrit Lally qualifies as well for the 13s-14s. And that comes up later. We still have 13-14 swimmers to compete in this session.
Next is Heat 4.
On we go to Heat 4. In Heat 4, we have Oscar Madrell for Isle of Man, Moses Lamb for Repton, Ivan Ijamoni for Thurrock. In lane 6 is Jason van der Merwe for Newham and University of East London, and Jason is a S14 para swimmer. Lane 5, Joshua Hutchinson for Woking. Lane 4, Leo Maros for Bromley. Lane 3, Mihailo Vukovic for Ealing. Lane 2 is Jude Gunner for Norwich Swan, and Jude is a S14 para swimmer. Lane 1, Harry Osborne for City of Sheffield Swim Squad. And lane 0, Charlie Shaw for Reeds of Cobham. Joshua Hutchinson, the leader, is a 15 years swimmer. So too Moses Lamb, who turned second. So it's Joshua Hutchinson out in front. Second, Moses Lamb. And we're also looking for 13-14 swimmers' times here to qualify for their final. Joshua Hutchinson, he'll have to wait and see if that's good enough for a 15 years final. Joshua's time, 53.96. Almost a 2-second PB. Absolutely brilliant swimming that. Moses Lamb, 55.03. They're both 15 years swimmers. Of the 13-14s there, Mihailo Vukovic was the fastest, 55.46. That will qualify for the final. Also there, Charlie Shaw should qualify with 55.58. And Oscar Madrell, I think, will qualify with 56.00 to the 13-14 final. Jude Gunner, Jason van der Merwe, they'll both qualify for the S14 final with their times. On we go to Heat 5. In Heat 5, we have Ethan Knights for Team Ipswich. Kieran Williams in lane 8 is S10 para swimmer for Manchester Performance Centre. Jackson Krabs in lane 7 for City of Leicester. We have Lucas Douglas for Atlantis, Jake Battle for Repton, Harry Willis for Newcastle Swim Team, Peter Fensom for Croydon Amphibians, Benjamin Palmer for Bishop Stortford, Zachary Callanan for Maidenhead, Dominic Wright for Millfield. Lucas Douglas, 25.46 at that turn. 9 of these swimmers are in the 15 years age group. We would expect the fastest 7 15-year-old final swimmers here to qualify for their final. That would be the expectation. Into the wall we go then. Jake Battle first, 53.12, that will qualify. Lucas Douglas will qualify, 53.55. Harry Willis will qualify, 54.35. Peter Fenson should qualify as well, 54.84. And Benjamin Palmer, I think we'll have to wait and see in 5th place. So remember, these swimmers are 15-year swimmers, apart from Kieran Williams. Kieran qualifies for the mixed classification final with that 714 points. And the first 4 swimmers there should qualify for the 15 years final in the afternoon session to come. On to heat 6. In Heat 6 we have Aram Castillo for City of Cardiff, Stan Sawyer for York City Baths, Mir Alderbach for Stockport Metro, Caden Hitchens for City of Birmingham, Eden Saints for Derby Excel, Alfie Davis for Woking, Jaden Carter for Mount Kelly, Leo Talbot for Bolton Metro, Robert Shipley for Middlesbrough, and Brogan Smith, the leader at the turn, for Glenrothes. Brogan Smith's a 15-year swimmer in lane 0. We have 15-year swimmers Jaden Carter in 3 and Aram Castillo in 9. Coming then into the final 5, Mir Alderbach going well, but in lane 0 it's Brogan Smith who qualifies for the 15 years final with that swim. That's a lifetime best time for Brogan. He'll be back in the 15 years final. He'd never swum under 54 seconds before. Mir Alderbach, 53.86. Also a first swim under 54 for Mir. Robert Shipley, 54.34 seconds. We also had Jaden Carter there, 54.63, hoping to qualify for the 15 years final. And Aram Castillo, we'll have to wait and see if he qualifies for the 15 years final with 56.4. On to heat 7. In Heat 7, we have Harry Robinson for Reeds of Cobham. Lane 8 is Mark Thompson for Manchester Performance Centre. Mark is a Class S14 para swimmer. We have Joshua Mulenga for Mount Kelly, Demetrius Tahanovs for Millfield, Evan McQuaid for Dunmow Atlantis, Yusuf El Madini for Crawley, Olivia Pedra for Basingstoke Bluefins, Logan Day for Repton, Frank Lamb for Millfield, and Otto Segalini-Bauer for Mid-Sussex Marlins. And it's Otto Segalini-Bauer leading the way at the bottom of the screen in lane 0, aiming to get into the 17th, 18th final potentially. And it's Segalini-Bauer who's going to get the touch, I think, but only just. 52.87 seconds for Otto. That's a first swim under 53 for him. His previous PB was 53.65. Second there was Evan McQuaid. Evan 53.06, that's a PB. Mark Tomsic qualifies for the S14 final with 833 points. We had two 16-year swimmers there. So bear that in mind looking at that screen. There are 16-year swimmers among those swimmers. On to heat 8. In Heat 8, we have Adam O'Neill for Bedford Swim Squad, Oliver Davey for Mount Kelly, Charlie Stevenson for Chichester Cormorant, Daniel Codaverde for Stockport Metro, Oliver Parry for Ramsbottom, Benjamin Roberts for Grantham, Michael Banks for Bromley, George Bailey for Mount Kelly, Tyler Stone for City of Norwich, and Lucas Gallant-Dracy for Mount Kelly. Benjamin Roberts turning first, 25.16 seconds. He's in the 17s and 18s. Turning third there, George Bailey is a 16 years swimmer. 3 names from the bottom of the picture in the white cap for Mount Kelly. Into the last 10 then, and the leader is Oliver Parry. But beaten to the touch by Charlie Stevenson, who finished very quick, 52.89 seconds. So 52.89, the fastest time. George Bailey, a 16-year-old there, finishing fourth in 53.11. So George Bailey, 53.11 the time. That should get into the 16 years final. On to Heat 9. The swimmers in Heat 9, Aslan Eela for Chelsea and Westminster, Ronnie Edwards for Rochford and District, Nikolai Cisnet for City of Glasgow, Samuel Andrews for Guildford City, Harry Cook for Aberdeen Dolphins, Nebi Sengula for Highland Swim Team, Finley Richardson for Guildford City, Xander Tovey for Millfield, Oscar Hunter for Norwich Swan, and Timothy Jones for Newquay Cormorants. Oscar Hunter turning first. There are 4 16 years swimmers in the middle of the pool and a 5th in lane 2, Xander Tovey. So lots of 16-year-olds in this heat. Into the last 5 metres. And who's going to get to the wall first? It's Xander Tovey, 52.55, qualifying for the 16 years final. With that, Nebi Sengula will qualify as well, 52.59 for the 16 years final. Harry Cook will qualify for the 16 years final, 52.62. Nikolai Cisnet will have to wait and see, I think. So too Sam Andrews, to see if they qualify for the 16 years final. On we go to Heat 10. In Heat 10, we have Henry Dean for Swim Bournemouth, Ben Every for City of Norwich, Hayden Sanders for Bromley, Alex Holmes for Glenrothes, Joshua Parker for Braintree and Bocking, Sam Hall for Guildford City, Archie Tebbett for Colchester Swimming and Water Polo, Colton Dorfeld for Millfield, Alessandro D'Onofrio for Mount Kelly, and Lachlan Small for Mount Kelly. Samuel Hall in the 17s, 18s, turning in first there. There's a 15-year swimmer, Hayden Sanders, in lane 7, and two 16-year-olds, Alex Holmes in 6 and Archie Tebbett in 3. So lane 4, Samuel Hall in the 17s and 18s. 52.06 for Samuel Hall. That's a possible qualification for 17s and 18s finals. Alessandro D'Onofrio finishing second might also qualify. Alex Holmes will be in the 16 years finals with 52.61, and Hayden Sanders will be in the 15 years final with 52.70.
Next is Heat 11.
Heat 11 is the first of our circle seeded heats. We have 3 heats left. In Heat 11, it's Sam Brilker for Corby, Benedict McCarthy for City of Cardiff, Charlie Phipps for Millfield, Harry Robinson for Loughborough University, Maddox Roberts for Loughborough University, Jordan Cooley for Loughborough University, and Oliver Watts for Loughborough University. Lane 2 is Monty Smith for Wickham District, Lane 1 Harry Chandler for Worcester, and Lane 0 Henry Shepherd for Bromley. First to turn then Maddox Roberts. The 4 swimmers in the middle of the pool are all in the 19s and overs. But in lane 7, Charlie Phipps is a 15-year-old swimmer, and lane 0, Henry Shepherd, is a 16 years swimmer. Very fast this for Maddox Roberts in 5. 48.50. Jordan Cooley, 48.87. That's the first swim under 49 seconds for Maddox Roberts and Jordan Cooley. So lifetime best swims there for those two. And looking further down, Charlie Phipps will be in the 15 years final for sure. Henry Shepherd in the 16 years final for sure. Monty Smith should be in the 17s, 18s with that. On to Heat 12. In this heat, we have Benjamin Dale Wood for Thirsk Whitehorse, Solomon Silverstone for Pembrokeshire County, Oliver Murray for Millfield, Samuel Sutcliffe for Ramsbottom. We have Freddie Ashley Sparks in 5 for Wickham District, Aidan Simmons-Brown for Plymouth Leander, Alexander Cahoon for Loughborough University, Llewellyn Porter for Camden Swiss Cottage, Lucas Murrick for Tophane Dolphins Performance, and Ethan Soppit-Moss for Loughborough University. Alex Cahoon leading the way as we come into the last 15 metres. Alex Cahoon, who will be swimming at the European Championships in Paris next month. 48.83 for Alex. That's a season's best time. Freddie Ashley Sparks, 49.66, just outside his PB. Third there was Aidan Simmons-Brown. Sam Sutcliffe there should get in the 17s, 18s final. That time Oliver Murray as well with 51.67 we would expect. Only one heat left. It's Heat 13. In the final heat, it's Tarek Blook for Worcester, Alfie Price for Orkney, Ben Uff for Crawley, Evan Davis for City of Cardiff, Angelo Giannicontini for Loughborough University, Rio Dowdy for Mount Kelly, Nicholas Finch for Chelsea and Westminster, Ruben Alty for Millfield, Austin Manley for Repton Swimming, and Hugh Mason-Williams for City of Birmingham. Rio Dowdy out in 23.69 seconds. Great turn from Nicholas Finch, by the way, but Dowdu is coming through and pulling away from the rest. It's going to be Rio Dowdu. Fastest time we've seen so far, 48.50. How close are we going to get to that time? Just outside that, 49.50, but Rio will be in the final for 19s and overs. Nicholas Finch will also qualify for the 19s and overs final with that. Third place, Angelo Giannicontini, 50.25 seconds, qualifies for his final. For the 16-year-olds there, Tarek Blook and Austin Manley, 51.99. They should both be in the centre lanes. They'll be in the 16 years final as well. Find out who's qualified for the finals. Go to results.swimming.org.
You can access all the results on the Aquatics GB website. Head to aquaticsgb.com.
Aquaticsgb.com is the place to find out if your swimmer's qualified for a final. Aquaticsgb.com. That's also the place where you'll be able to watch the European Aquatics Championships in Paris next month. They start on the 31st of July. They'll be live on Aquatics GB and free, aquaticsgb.com and Eurovision Sports. The pool swimming starts on August the 10th. Our next event is women's 200 metres individual medley. We have two swimmers in Heat 1. And the swimmers here are Scarlett and Eliza Humphrey. Scarlett represents Loughborough University and Eliza Swansea University. SM11 swimmers, visually impaired swimmers. Scarlett in lane 4, leading here. And Scarlett's personal best time would be about 2 minutes 48. It's 1 length butterfly, 1 length backstroke, 1 length breaststroke, 1 length freestyle. The visually impaired athletes get a tap on their head to alert them that they are close to the wall. The swimmers wear with goggles that are completely blacked out. That's to ensure that the SM11 category is fair for all visually impaired athletes. And there you go. You can see that the swimmers get a tap so they know they're close to the wall. Much like swimmers on backstroke use the flags. Once you feel the tap, you know how many strokes you have left before you reach the wall. And at the end of the race, the officials do check the goggles of the individual swimmers who are visually impaired to make sure that they are fully blacked out. So our leader then here is Scarlett Humphrey, ahead of Eliza Humphrey. And they've both swum under 3 minutes in the past, so that would be a really good swim for either or both. Scarlett Humphrey leading into the wall and turning in 2:16.17. Then it's Eliza Humphrey who turns in 2:22.26. So 50 metres of freestyle left. 2:16 was the time at the turn for Scarlett. We should get under 3 minutes for Scarlett here. So into the last 10 metres. And remember, we'll get a points total as well for the swimmers here. 2:55.53, so that's sub 3 minutes. Very good for Scarlett Humphrey. And Eliza just outside 3 minutes, 3:03.46. Almost exactly a season's best, just 0.2 of a second slower than the season's best for Eliza. And then you'll see the points scored when we get the result confirmed. The result won't be confirmed until the officials have checked those goggles are fully blacked out. So there was always a slight pause before we get everything confirmed at the end of a race with a visually impaired swimmer. So it doesn't mean they are considering a disqualification, the officials. It's just that the result is not official until the goggles have been checked. And when we get the results, I expect to see that Scarlett Humphrey scored 726 points and Eliza Humphrey scored 635. Scarlett finishing with a 50 freestyle in 39.36 and Eliza's 50 freestyle was 41.2. And the official result, I think, is coming. Here we go. Scarlett Humphrey, 726 points. Eliza Humphrey, 635. And they'll swim in a mixed classification final in the evening session, both qualifying. On to heat 2. In Heat 2, we have Lena Crisp for Norwich Swan, Lucy Shaw for Crew Flyers, Tara Beard for Maxwell, Emily Taylor for South Lanarkshire, Matilda Wilson for Morpeth, Chloe Jones for Warrington Warriors, Maddie Markle for Guildford City, Summer Chirita for Repton Swimming, Sienna Oxby for Repton Swimming, and Amber Haycock for Northampton. 5 swimmers in this heat are para swimmers. The 3 swimmers on the far side of the pool, Lena Crisp, Lucy Shaw and Tara Beard. They are SM14 swimmers. Also lane 1, SM14 swimmer Sienna Oxby. And in lane 0, Amber Haycock is SM10. So we will have a points calculation at the end of this heat. The other swimmers are in the 13-14 age group. So it's 1 length butterfly, 1 length backstroke, 1 length breaststroke, 1 length freestyle. Emily Taylor turning from back to breast first in 68.53 seconds. Second at that turn was Matilda Wilson. And then things tend to change on breaststroke. If you've got an exceptional breaststroke leg, you are very, very likely to be a strong medley swimmer. And Matilda Wilson looks strong here on the breaststroke, maintaining her lead over the rest of the field. Bear in mind, at the bottom of your screen, Amber Haycock is SM10 swimmer. So she looks like she's on course for a good score, Amber Haycock. Just coming into picture now, lane 0. There she is. Turning first then in lane 5, Matilda Wilson, 152.12 at that turn, followed by Summer Chirita. Third at the turn was Maddie Markle. There are still several swimmers to come in the 13-14 age group, so winning this heat doesn't guarantee a place in the final. But Matilda Wilson will be pushing hard for a place in the final, you know. 2:27.17, that's a time that's got a chance. I think Maddie Markle will struggle with 2:29.08, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. So Matilda Wilson might qualify. Now the para swimmers finishing. Sienna Oxby, 2:39.51. Lucy Shaw, 2:41.01. Lena Chris, 2:41.69. And Amber Haycock, 2:42.18. Now look at the points. Tara Beard, the highest point scorer, I believe, 2:33.99. She finished 6th in the heat, and she gets 782 points. But look at that, Amber Haycock finishing 10th, but 741 points, the second highest point score there. Those para swimmers qualifying for mixed classification final this afternoon, and Matilda Wilson will have to wait and see if 2:27.17 can qualify for the 13-14 age group final. It might. On to heat 3. In this heat, we have Grace Taylor for Alford Otters, Erin Newman for Mount Kelly, Grace O'Hara, City of Leeds, Nina Allen, Newmarket and District, Malika Azana Ball for City of Leeds, Isabella Parsons Loads for Derby XL, Amaya Waters for Harrogate District, Amy Sanders for Dunstable, Jasmine Bax for Mount Kelly, and Martha Rickard for Bromley. Lanes 4 and 5 leading the way here. Isabella Parsons Loads and Malika Azana Ball. They're both 15 years swimmers. In this heat, the leading 13-14 swimmer will most likely qualify for the 13-14 final. We might know for sure, depending on the time, that fastest 13-14 swimmer sets. The 4 swimmers in the middle of the pool here, Nina Allen, Malika Azana Ball, Isabella Parsons Loads and Amaya Waters, they're all 15 years swimmers. So Azana Ball first at the turn, Amy Sanders second at that turn, and she is in the 13-14 age group. So it's Azana Ball, and now Isabella Parsons Loads coming through on breaststroke. And Malika Azana Ball looking very good on this breaststroke leg, leaving Isabella Parsons Loads behind. Amaya Waters in third at the turn. And who's going to be leading the race among the 13-14 swimmers? I think it would have been Martha Rickard in lane 0, 154.64 at the turn. So Malika Azana Ball leading the way for the 15-year-olds here in the middle of the pool. And Malika into the last 10 metres. She's got a personal best time of 2:26.62. That is going. This is a new PB by a long way. 2:21.54. And then Amaya Waters comes in 2:26.72. That's also a personal best time. Isabella Parsons Loads coming in third. And Grace Taylor, 2:29.47, will qualify for the 13-14 final there with 2:29.47. Amy Sanders will have to wait and see, but that should qualify as well. 2:29.52. I think the first two 13-14 swimmers there should both make it into their final. On we go to heat 4. In Heat 4, we have Evie Armstrong for Dunstable, Alana Henry for Killer Wales, Naomi Broadley for City of Wakefield, Tyler J. Thomas for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Lexi Mulcahy for Plymouth College Aquatics, Ayla Thied for Camden Swiss Cottage, Abby Coventry for Morpeth, Ava Edwards for Plymouth Leander, Megan Ferris for Cumbernauld, and Mia Garner for Borough of Harrow. At the turn then, it's Lexi Mulcahy in the lead, and Lexi's a 15-year swimmer. Abby Coventry was second at that turn, leading among the 13, 14-year-olds there. Ayla Thied possibly in lane 4. Keep an eye on her. Megan Ferris in lane 1 as well as a 13, 14 swimmer. And Tyler J. Thomas, I think, is actually now the leading 13, 14 swimmer in this heat in lane 6. On to breaststroke then. Mulcahy and then Coventry, followed by Alana Henry, Mia Garner, and Tyler J. Thomas in 5th at that turn is the leading 13, 14 swimmer at the moment. On to breaststroke then. Mulcahy and then Abby Coventry. And look at Naomi Broadley, 3 lanes from the top of the picture. And Naomi probably having the best breaststroke leg right now. Mia Gardner in lane 0 also going well on breaststroke here. It looks like it will be Broadley and Garner first and second as we turn to freestyle. 152.23 for Broadley, 152.63 for Garner. Who's got the fastest freestyle then? Naomi Broadley still in the lead, but coming through strongly now. Lexi Mulcahy in the middle of the pool. Looking then for the times. It's a great finish from Mulcahy. She's going to win this heat. Second, Broadley. Third, Garner. So Mulcahy, 227.30. Naomi Broadley second, but look at the 13-14 swimmers here on the results. Ayla Thied was the fastest 13-14 swimmer, 228.58, so that will qualify her, I'm sure, for the 13-14 final. Evie Armstrong will qualify, I'm sure, as well. Tyler Jade Thomas. Well, that will have to wait and see, 230.74. This is Heat 5. In Heat 5 we have Ariana Minerva for Chelsea and Westminster, Niamh Savoury for Newcastle Swim Team, Eloise Lloyd for Wickham District, Amy Jones for Leatherhead, Poppy Nutsman for Tadcaster York Sports, Eve Hibbert for City of Sheffield, Janie Finch, City of Leicester, Sian Headley, Nova Centurion, Summer Martin for Wickham District, and Lydia Shipley for Middlesbrough. Ariana Minerva in the furthest lane, lane 9, is a 13-14 swimmer, the only 13-14 swimmer in this heat. It's Janie Finch leading after Butterfly in lane 3. Lane 0, Lydia Shipley. But coming up into second now, Amy Jones of Leatherhead in lane 6. So it's Finch and Shipley, and it looks like Sian Headley will turn third. Jones actually gets to the wall first. Jones, Finch and Headley, 1, 2, 3 onto breaststroke. Who's going to come through here on the breaststroke leg? Strong swimming now from Sian Headley and from Eve Hibbert. We're turning from breaststroke to freestyle. Eve Hibbert's going to turn first. So it's Hibbert leading, 1:49.31 onto freestyle from Headley and then Nutsman. Ariana Minerva turning 7th there, 1:52.7, but should qualify for the 13-14 final with this performance. It's going to be Eve Hibbert to win the heat. Sian Headley will come in second. Eve Hibbert's PB, 2:26.08, that's gone. 2:23.32. Sian Headley also with a big PB, 2:23.37. Amy Jones, 2:25.99. That's a personal best time for Amy. Poppy Nutman, 2:26.05, also with a personal best time. So the first 4 swimmers all with PBs there. And Ariana Minerva finishing 7th, 2:27.11. And that will get her into the 13-14 final for sure. Sian Headley will have to wait and see if she's in the 15s final. We go on to heat 6. In Heat 6 we have Lucy Raper for Morpeth, Emmy Aitken for University of Aberdeen Performance, Sadie Hunter for City of Peterborough, Eva Ondrekov for Camden Swiss Cottage, Jessica Kirkwood for University of Aberdeen Performance, Rosie Grosvenor for City of Birmingham, Elizabeth Grant for Tigers of Jersey, Millie Threlfall for City of Leeds, Megan Daniel for Carradon, and Alana Maddock for Eastleigh. In this heat, there's a chance for 1 or 2 15-year-olds to qualify for their final. Sadie Hunter turning first. Millie Threlfall second at the turn. Emmy Aitken was third there, turning from fly to back. Emmy Aitken leading in lane 8. Sadie Hunter looks like she's second in lane 7 at the moment. And there's a race within a race here among the 15-year-olds. That's Lucy Raper on the far side in lane 9. And then in lanes 4 and 3, Rosie Grosvenor and Elizabeth Grant. Grosvenor and Grant only 5/100ths of a second apart, turning in 4th and 5th there. And Raper only 6/10ths behind the two of them. There's a chance in this heat that the fastest 15-year-old, maybe the 2 fastest 15-year-olds will qualify for their final. So our leader, Emmy Aitken, she's in the 17s, 18s. Looking very good on the breaststroke. Also looking good here on breaststroke, Elizabeth Grant and Millie Threlfall. Elizabeth Grant coming up into second place. So it's Aitken, then Grant at the turn, followed by Maddock, Threlfall, Daniel, Grosvenor. Joint 6th there, Grosvenor and Hunter. And Emmy Aitken is going to win these heats. Emmy has a PB of 2:24.47. I think she's going to beat that. And also finishing strongly in lane 2, Millie Threlfall. And I think it's a 2:24.62 for Emmy Aitken, finishing second. It's a season's best actually for Emmy. Millie Threlfall winning in 2:24.52. And third there was Elizabeth Grant, 2:25.95. Now Elizabeth Grant will get in the 15 years final with that, 2:25.95. Rosie Grosvenor will have to wait and see, finishing 7th there. Second fastest 15-year-old in that heat. Wait and see if that qualifies, 2:27.56. On we go to heat 7. In Heat 7, we have Molly McGinley for Repton, Evie Cutter for Wigan Best, Amelia Fenner for Basildon and Phoenix, Edith Price for Mount Kelly, Maisie Fisher for Millfield, Kayla Wimble for Guildford City, Minnie Wilkinson for Wickham District, Olivia Quillett for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson, Constance Logan for City of Brighton and Hove, and Chloe Grosvenor for City of Birmingham. Two swimmers in this heat are 13, 14-year-olds. They are Molly McGinley in lane 9, who turned 6th there, and Minnie Wilkinson in lane 3, who turned in 3rd place. We would expect possible 16-year final qualifiers in this heat. We do have 3 16-year-old swimmers, Amelia Fenner in 7, Maisie Fisher over there in 5, and Chloe Grosvenor nearest to us in lane 0. I think the 2 fastest of those 3 could well qualify for their final, and Amelia Fenner is in 1st place. Chloe Grosvenor turned 4th there. And I think we could well get 3 qualifiers for finals in this heat. Leading the way, Minnie Wilkinson. 2nd may well be Kyla Wimble in lane 4. And it could be Amelia Fenner in 7, or maybe Constance Logan in 1. And look at this, lane 0, Chloe Grosvenor going very well on the breaststroke, getting right up there with 2nd place. Grosvenor actually turning 3rd, but only 8/100ths of a second behind Wimble. It's Minnie Wilkinson, and you'd expect her to go away. She's an excellent sprint, an excellent distance freestyle swimmer, Minnie Wilkinson. So she's going to be strong on this final 50. Also strong on this final 50, Constance Logan. Minnie Wilkinson will get into her final with this time. Minnie Wilkinson's PB 2:25.24, so this is a personal best time, and that new PB is 2:23.03. Amelia Fenner 2:24.63, that's a personal best time in 2nd place. Constance Logan 2:24.72, season's best time there for Constance. So Minnie Wilkinson qualifies for her final. Molly McGinley will qualify for the 13-14 final, finishing 8th in that heat. And 16 years, Amelia Fenner should qualify. Chloe Grosvenor may. She'll have to wait and see. On we go to heat 8. Nine swimmers competing in this heat. In lane 9, that's Scarlett Davey for Royal Tunbridge Wells Monson. Lane 8 is Lily Rose Carr for City of Lincoln Pentaqua. Lane 7, Holly Gent for City of Leicester. Lane 6 is empty. Then we have Emma Price for Borough of Stockton Swim Scheme. Charlotte Surrell for City of Birmingham. Ayla Coletta for Repton. Martina Karabach for Camden Swiss Cottage. Alice Harper for Millfield. And Jemima Da Silva for Camden Swiss Cottage. Turning 6th there, Ayla Coletta is a 13-14 swimmer. Turning 1st, though, was Lily Rose Carr in the 17-18 age group. We could have qualifiers in this heat for the 13-14 final, the 15 final, the 16 final. I think we would expect the fastest in all of those age groups to qualify from this heat. So Martina Karabach turning 1st, Lily Rose Carr 2nd, Jemima Da Silva's on course for the 15 years final in 3rd. 5th at the turn, Ayla Coletta should be on her way to the 13-14 qualification with this swim. Leading then in lane 2, Martina Karabach. Lily Rose Carr, 2 lanes from the top of the picture, swimming well too. Emma Price in lane 5 coming through on the breaststroke. Lane 9, Scarlett Davey also coming through on the breaststroke. In fact, I think Scarlett Davy may be quicker than anybody on this breaststroke right now. Karabach will turn first, then it's going to be Davy. Davy was 2 seconds quicker over that 50 breaststroke than anybody else in the pool. Looking at those split times. So 4 swimmers now out in front. We've got Karabach closest to us, Emma Price in 5, and then on the far side, that's Scarlett Davy and Lily Rose Carr. So we're looking at the clock as we come into the wall. Martina Karabach, 2:22.67. That's a PB. Emma Price, 2:22.87. That's a PB in second place. Lily Rose Carr, third, 2:23.02. Good time for her. Scarlett Davy, 2:23.10. Personal best time there. And then in terms of qualification for finals, Isla Coletta will be in the 13-14 final, finishing 7th there. Holly Gent should be in the 15 years final with that, 2:25.64. Jemima De Silva will have to wait and see. And Alice Harper should qualify for the 16 years final with 2:26.01. I guess that's a wait and see time because we still have 16 years swimmers to come in the last heats. On we go to heat 9. The 10 swimmers in Heat 9 are Sophie King for Mount Kelly, Anna Farr for Loughborough University, Ivy Haggerty for Thanet, Madison Wrens for City of Liverpool. In lane 5, Olivia Newman-Baronius is a para swimmer, SM14 classification. In lane 4, Ellie Hull for City of Birmingham. Lane 3, Holly Wayman for Repton Swimming. Then it's Matilda Boyce for Bracknell and Wokingham, Millie Searle for Gary, and Ellie McLeod for Woking. And Ellie McLeod turned first there, 30.23, just ahead of Ivy Haggerty. Ellie McLeod, the leader there, is a 15 years swimmer. The leading two 15 years swimmers I would expect to qualify from this heat. There are 4 of them. Ellie Hull in 4, Matilda Boyce in 2, Millie Searle in 1, Ellie McLeod in 0. As a rule of thumb, the first 2 will probably qualify for their final. Turning first now then, Anna Farr. Great backstroke leg from Anna. 66.07 at the turn. The quickest by far on that backstroke leg. Ellie Hull leads the 15-year-olds in second place. So she's on the way to the 15 years final. Anna Farr out in front. Anna certainly won't guarantee a place in the 19s and overs final with this swim, but the way she's going, I think there is a strong chance she'll qualify. It will all depend on what happens in the later heats. Farr turned first there, then it's Millie Searle turning second, Ellie Hull third, Searle and Hull both 15-year-olds in lanes 1 and 4. And also Matilda Boyce, who's a strong 1,500 metre swimmer coming through. Boyce now second in the 15-year-old race here. And also finishing strong, Ellie McLeod in the 15 years age group. Anna Farr's going to finish first. 2:22.74 is a season's best for Anna. Then Ellie Hull gets into the 15 years final with 2:23.88. Ivy Haggerty will qualify for, well, we'll have to wait and see on the 17-18 final, sorry. Matilda Boyce should qualify for the 15 years final with 2:24.40 there in lane 2. And then we have to wait and see Ellie McLeod, well, that should get in. 224.65 for Ellie McLeod. She's a 15-year swimmer. Millie Searle finishing 7th. We'll have to wait and see if she gets in the 15 years final there. But I think Ellie Hull, Matilda Boyce and Ellie McLeod should all qualify for the 15 years finals with those times. And Olivia Newman-Baronius, as you can see there, scored 764 points in the SM14 category. Our next heat is Heat 10. Heat 10 swimmers are Clementine Lovell for Mount Kelly, Olivia Robbins for City of Birmingham, Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson for University of Stirling, Seren Talentai for Morpeth, Zara Kraviec for East Lothian, Charlotte Gower for City of Coventry, Lexi O'Connor for Basildon and Phoenix, Olivia O'Mahony for Cockermouth, Willow Harrison for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, and Hazel Ann Carter for Wickham District. What a start this from Seren Talentai, 28.83 on the butterfly leg. Followed into the wall there by Evie O'Halloran Hutchinson. Third at the turn then. Well, any number of swimmers could be in third place right now. You've got Clementine Lovell at the top of the picture going very well on backstroke. Olivia Robbins in lane 8. 10th at the moment. She is a 16 years swimmer. Our leader then, halfway, Seren Talentai, followed by Clementine Lovell. Third was Charlotte Gower at the turn. And now then on the breaststroke, who is going to come through? The leader, Seren Talentai. But she's being overtaken now by Clementine Lovell. And these two leaders are both in the 17-18 age group. We still have lots of 17-18 swimmers to come. Talentai turning first, then Lovell. Then it's O'Connor, Carter, Gower, Harrison, O'Halloran Hutchinson, Kraviec. No doubt about the winner of the heat. It's going to be Seren Talentai then for Morpeth. And Seren is going to be swimming a PB there. 2:19.30. That's her first swim under 2:20. Clementine Lovell in second. 2:22 was her previous personal best. So that's a new PB. 2:21.98. Charlotte Gower. 2:22.46 there in third. And looking at the age groups, you have the 19s and over. You've got Olivia Robbins. I don't think she is going to qualify with 2:27.35 for the 16 years final. Lexi O'Connor should qualify for the 19s and overs with 2:22.62. On to heat 11. In this heat we have Catherine Williams for Wickham District, Emily England Hall for City of Leeds, Ruby Stevenson for Swansea University, Eileen Winstanley for City of Hereford, Elizabeth Booker for Millfield, Scarlett Major for Swansea University, Katie Lee for City of Salford, Sophie Moore for City of Cambridge, Lily Mundell for Heart of Midlothian, and Joanne Andrews for Ellesmere College Swimming Academy. First to turn in lane 5, Elizabeth Booker, just ahead of Ellen Winstanley. Bear in mind, Emily England Hall turning 10th there is a 13-14 swimmer. And we have two 16-year-olds in lanes 1 and 0, Lily Mundell and Joanne Coming through now in lane 2, Sophie Moore having a brilliant backstroke leg here. And she's going to turn first to breaststroke. So it's Sophie Moore, 65.15. Scarlett Major also had a very good backstroke leg there. And Ruby Stevenson turning third in lane 7 was actually the quickest backstroker of the lot. Coming through now, Elizabeth Booker on breaststroke. Our leading 4. Ruby Stevenson, Elizabeth Booker, Scarlett Major and Sophie Moore. Katie Lee now for City of Salford also joining this leading group. Final turn then from breaststroke to freestyle. And it's Sophie Moore leading 1:45.54, followed by Ruby Stevenson. And very strong finish from Scarlett Major in lane 4. She's coming through. Katie Lee also in lane 3 in the yellow cap. It could be any one of these 3. Sophie Moore, Katie Lee, Scarlett Major. It looks like it's going to be Moore, then Lee, then Major. 18.64 for Sophie Moore. That's a first swim under 2:20 for Sophie. That's a PB. Katie Lee, 2:18.74. Scarlett Major, 2:18.93. Emily England Hall came through to finish 8th there, 2:24.14. And she qualifies for the 13-14 final with that. 2 16-year swimmers there, Joanne Andrews and Lily Mundell. And they will get into their final there with those times. So the 9th and 10th swimmers, the 8th, 9th and 10th swimmers all qualifying for their age group finals. Everybody else has to wait and see. We have 2 heats to come. Katie Lee should be in the 17-18 final with that time, and so too should Scarlett Major in the 19s and overs. 2 heats left. This is heat 12. The starter asking the swimmers to stand down. No full start. They will just regroup. There will be a technical reason for the restart of the race. Here we go. We'll have a second go. In Heat 12, 9 swimmers competing. Freya Gordon for Hazelmere on the far side in that blue cap. Then it's Rose O'Brien for Portsmouth North Sea. Summer Everson for Watford. Matilda Potter, City of Leeds. Holly Hopwood, Guildford City. Lois Child for Harrogate. Jasmine Hall for Basildon and Phoenix. Petra Varga for Wirral Metro. And Darcy Platts for City of Leicester. The youngest swimmer in this heat is in lane 8, Rose O'Brien, turning 9th there. She's in the 15 years age group. And Rose O'Brien, even though she's 10th at the moment, or possibly coming up to 9th and possibly coming up to 8th, she is the fastest 15-year-old in the country this year. In lane 5, Holly Hopwood looks like she may be leading, although Matilda Potter is going to run her close to this turn. Hopwood and Potter look like they'll turn first and second. Potter just getting to the wall first. On to breaststroke. And Holly Hopwood looks like she's got the better breaststroke here in lane 5. She's moving away from Matilda Potter. Petra Varga in lane 2 looking good on breaststroke as well. Summer Everson, 3 lanes from the top of the picture, also strong on this breaststroke, but nobody's getting close to Holly Hopwood. Holly's in the 17-18 age group. So Hopwood leading in the freestyle leg. It doesn't look like anybody's going to catch Holly Hopwood here. Matilda Potter is going to try. So it's Holly Hopwood followed by Matilda Potter. Potter's closing in. Is she going to catch her? It's going to be actually very close here. Hopwood just holds off the challenge. 2:19.19 for Holly Hopwood. So Holly qualifies for the 17-18 final with that. Matilda Potter will qualify for the final as well, same final. Petra Varga should qualify with 2:21.01. In the other age groups, Jasmine Hall should be in the 16 years final. 2:21.5. And Lois Charr will qualify for the 16 years final. Rose O'Brien will be in the 15 years final with 2:23.90. One heat left. The final heat is heat 13. In this heat, we have Erin Perman for Exeter City, Annabelle Cook for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Lydia Caudle for Repton, Chloe Bown for University of Stirling, Ines Grimond-Beetham for Camden Swiss Cottage, Candice Hall for City of Sheffield Swim Squad, Susie McNair for University of Stirling, Shola Robinson for Loughborough University, Alice Forrest for Derwentsside and Gateshead, and Heidi Corbett for Guildford City. Susie McNair out in front, 28.83 after Butterfly. Shola Robinson turning second, and Candice Hall third. Heidi Corbett turning fourth there. She's a 15 years swimmer, and there are two 16-year-olds in this heat. Erin Perman in lane 9, Lydia Caudle in lane 7. What a swim this is from Susie McNair. She was leading after Butterfly. She's dominating after backstroke. Second, it looks like it will be Candice Hall or maybe Shola Robinson. Heidi Corbett turning third. Remember, Heidi Corbett, who turned third there, is a 15 years swimmer. Lydia Caudle was sixth at that turn. Erin Perman seventh. They are in the 16 years age group. This is a brilliant breaststroke leg now from Candice Hall in lane 4. So it's McNair, but Candice Hall gets to the wall first, followed by Shola Robinson. Fourth at the turn, Ines Grimond-Beetham. The three leaders are all in the 19s and overs. Grimond-Beetham in fourth place is a 17-18 swimmer. Chloe Bound coming up now alongside Grimond-Beetham is a 19s and overs swimmer. Into the wall then, qualifying for the 19s and over final for sure will be Susie McNair, who wins the heat, Candice Hall and Shola Robinson. Ines Grimond-Beetham will get in the 17s, 18s final with that time. Heidi Corbett was 9th in lane 0, but 2:24.03 will get in the 15 years final. Lydia Caudle and Erin Perman both qualify for the 16 years final, finishing 6th and 8th. But those first three swimmers there, Susie McNair, Candice Hall and Shola Robinson, have the fastest 3 times in the 19 and over category, so they'll be in the middle lanes in the final. That final session will come at 5 p.m. That's the end of our heat session for this morning. We have another session between now and the finals. We have 800 metres freestyle to come. And we'll be back with that 800 metres freestyle session at 1 p.m. You can see local time is 11:43, so in an hour and a quarter or so, we will be back with 800 metres freestyle. Hope you've enjoyed the heat session this morning. Thanks for supporting your swimmers. Thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you later on in the day for our next session at 1 p.m. See you then.